Hey, so I'm back again with another of these Twisted Wonderland inspired character design challenge thing. I don't know what to call it. For this character, I wanted to tackle the influence of Danny Phantom and design a character around that. For this character, I really wanted to kind of take influence from both his human form, his ghost form, and then kind of throw a little bit of Sam's gothness in there because that's iconic and I enjoyed that. So I did. And you can't stop me. Yeah, I was going for kind of a femme cute boy, but also looks like he could beat your ass if you really pissed him off. I've named him Darren. I think since Danny's ghost form is predominantly black, I felt like that also kind of just fit, pulling in more black colors. I thought that would also make the green and blues pop a little bit more. I debated back and forth if I wanted to give him green or blue eyes, since he normally has blue eyes, his ghost form has. I kind of just went blue eyes, green makeup, green ghost power beam thing. For this series, I wanted to give each of my characters a single power that kind of encapsulates their character that they're based off of. So in the case of Darren, I decided to give him the ghost beam plasma shot thing. I don't know what it's called in the show, and I don't know what it would be called just generally. Ghost beam, ghost energy. For the actual outfit design itself, I decided to keep kind of with Danny's normal shirt, just cropped it a little bit and made it a black and charcoal color. Went with the short shorts and fishnets because I thought that was cute and kind of pulled in that Sam-esque goth look that I was going for. The painted nails and the bracelets also, and the big chunky cargo boots. I think it really came together cute. I'm a big fan of it. This was one of those that just kind of came together really naturally for me. It's very much in my wheelhouse, so there wasn't a lot of struggle with the overall vibe of this character. When I did my Star versus the Forces of Evil character, that was a lot more outside of my comfort house, whereas I feel like this is a very safe character for me. Which maybe I could have pushed it a little bit more outside of my comfort house, but I feel like Danny Phantom as a show just very much encapsulates my safe zone. That whole concept is just in my wheelhouse. So he doesn't have a ghost transformation or other ghost powers. I just wanted to keep it to one iconic power that kind of encapsulates the reference, if you will. But yeah. First hairstyle, I was debating how much I wanted to play into Danny's actual hair. Because I'm not going to talk about much art because I don't want to, but his art style is very flat. So kind of translating that into hair with a little bit more dimension is already kind of an interesting challenge. But I kind of just decided to play it with a slight asymmetrical look, but also pretty simple and short. So I'm not really deviating too far from what Danny's hair looks like. But I feel just a little bit more styled, make it a little bit cuter. I don't know. I decided to keep I was debating between black and white for what hairstyle to go with, because those kind of seemed like the only real options. I decided to go with a little bit of both, since I'm kind of fusing the two forms. That made sense to me. So the black with the white fringe, the white tips, kind of gives it that ghosty vibe without being just full-on white. I think it actually looks really... It does the vibe that I was looking for it to do, which is great. I ended up going with a little bit heavier makeup than some of the other characters, but I felt like with the whole kind of goth vibe and aesthetic that really fit. You see, I played around with red a little bit before the green because I wanted to maybe pull in some of the colors from Danny's like normal outfit. I didn't end up liking that, so I ended up switching the red to the green, and I think that looks a lot better. And then it can play with some more interesting compositions, as it's the same green that I used for like the ghost beam or whatever you want to call it. Because I've talked about this in previous videos of this series, but I like reusing the same palette as much as I can. I feel like the more colors you kind of throw into a piece, the more you kind of clutter it. But if you have two colors that are similar, you can use the same color. In the case of the the beam, I end up throwing a little bit of blue in there too. Just similar how I did a different kind of beam for one of my comics that I have unfortunately had to kind of throw an indefinite hiatus, which is sad. One day maybe I'll be able to get back to it, but comics take a lot of time. But giving that gradient kind of gives a little bit more intrigue to the beam while also just being visually pretty to look at. Gradients, they're just, you can't go wrong with a gradient. I love gradients. Yeah, I switched the green, the eyeshadow to green. I think that pulls things in a little bit better than the red did, especially with the blue eyes. I think it really contrasts in a good, like, vibrant way without being too intense. I don't know. I also changed the line art around the eye to being a light blue to kind of make it look a little bit more like glowing without actually glowing. Just give that very intense kind of ghosty eye look. Also the painted nails, just full good kind of pseudo-punk goth boy. It's really what I was going for here. Yeah. I think ultimately this design comes out very in my wheelhouse, very like how I like to design a character. I think it still holds true to being kind of the essence of Danny Phantom and being very much heavily inspired from without just being a alternate version of Danny Phantom. I think he comes off as his own character enough. Not that he's like entirely separated from it either, which he's not meant to be, so but I think for Darren's personality, he's very kind of sassy, kind of like, I guess, extroverted and outgoing while being very kind of sweet and caring. At least that's the vibe I'm going for. I think he ends up being a very kind of rounded character that fits in with a bunch of the other characters I've done recently for this series. I think my Ben 10 character in particular, I think Darren and Bennett kind of have very similar color schemes, very similar vibes to them. I guess they'd probably get along great. Actually, I think they'd probably butt heads. But I was thinking for the series, like I like the idea of the hypothetical like school, very twisted wonderland, Harry Potter, Mashal, whatever, where you have like the students and they're set up into different like dormitories, but in this case it would be like different genres. So you'd have like the sci-fi dorm or the fantasy dorm or the slice of life dorm. He's very, I guess saying that he's a safe character design for me is probably the best way to put it. I didn't really challenge myself too much on this one. I think the next character design I do for this series, I want to really push myself more out of my comfort zone, since I have done a lot of safer designs for me here. Thinking maybe something really colorful. We'll see. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. Hard not to. I love everything that went into this one. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any ideas for other shows that you think would be fun to tackle. But yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye!